Welcome back to the Talking Web Marketing podcast with myself, Ilana Wexler. This is a show where we reveal the best tips, tricks and tactics to increasing your website traffic and then converting that traffic into leads and sales. We also discuss what's working right now in the ever-changing world of web marketing so you can apply it to your business. Ilana Wexler here with another episode of Talking Web Marketing. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about what makes a winning Facebook ad. As in the many years that I've been running my PPC agency called Green Arrow Digital, or in our PPC Academy where we teach people how to do exactly what we do, I've probably seen and run myself literally thousands of different Facebook ads in lots of different industries. And when you kind of get exposure to that many ads, you get to see a trend of what works and a trend of what doesn't work, almost regardless of any industry. So that's what I want to talk about in today's episode. What are the 10 critical elements that really make up a good Facebook ad? Because there are definite commonalities in these ads. And so I'm going to break them down into each element that you can apply to your business, almost regardless of what industry you're in. So let's get stuck in today's show. So the first critical element that you need for a winning Facebook ad is a really good offer. If you don't have a good offer, if what you're offering people is not enticing, it's not irresistible, then no amount of good copy or good targeting or anything like that will make your ad successful. Because at the end of the day, it's got to be irresistible to your target audience. I really believe that success with Facebook ads hinges on your ability to put your ad in front of the right person at the right time with the right message. And your offer and what you're offering people is at the core of that. So you need to think about what is irresistible to your target audience and obviously craft your ad around that particular offer. Because if you think about it, your target customer is probably standing at the bus stop scrolling through their newsfeed, or standing in the line for the bank, or doing their shopping, or whatever it is, and your enemy is their thumb. They're going to be scrolling through their newsfeed, and you have to stop them in their tracks, and you have to make them think, "Ooh, I really want this. This is irresistible to me." So have a think about your target audience, what keeps them up at night that you can offer them, and ideally solve a problem for them. And that's where your offer really comes in. Okay, the second element to a successful Facebook ad is a really good image. Once again, your target customer is going about their daily life, and the first thing that they are going to see is that image that you use in your ad. It's so important to have a compelling and an enticing image, and it almost doesn't even have to relate to the actual offer or the ad. In fact, we've had a real play around with this where I have used images that are completely unrelated to what I'm offering. And I even address that in my ad copy. I might say, yes, this image has nothing to do with whatever it is. We just like the image and therefore I inject a little bit of personality into the ad. And people quite like that. So you need a good image. And there's lots of free resources that you can use to find images. But you do need a really good image to stop people in their tracks, to stop their thumb from scrolling past your ad so that they look at it and it's appealing to them in some way. So the third aspect you need is a really good call to action. I can't tell you how many times I see this being missed, is that people will have an ad, they'll have a great image, and then there's no instruction of what you want people to do. You need to be quite explicit in telling people what you want them to do. And in fact, I've seen comments in certain ads where they'll say, yes, please, or how do I proceed? Or people asking in the comments, what do they need to do to take the next step? So yes, as an ad manager, it might be obvious to you that you've got to click on the ad, right? What you're probably thinking. But people don't realize that you need to click on the ad. And so therefore you need to be explicit in what you want them to do, which kind of leads me on to the next point of point number 4, where it's good to have a link in the copy of where you want them to go. So yes, it's in conjunction with the link that if they click on the image, they will go there. But it's just being that level of explicitness with people, telling them, click on this link to do whatever, download this checklist, or etc., etc. It just makes it a little bit more obvious for people of what you want them to do, to avoid getting those comments in your ad of yes please, or how do I download the guide. So point number 5 of what makes up a winning Facebook ad is to try and use a story in your ad. And I just see so many people not doing this, and it's such a missed opportunity. If you think about it, Facebook is a social network. It's a social platform where people are engaging and being social with each other. And there's no reason why your ad should be any different. We have used stories in ads so many times, and every time it just does so well, because it lets people's guard down. They can relate to the story. You draw people in with your story. And yes, at the end of our story, we relate it to whatever it is the offer we are offering, but we use a story to relate to people and to let people's guard down. So please try and use a story in your ad in whatever way you can, because it just makes it a lot more engaging, especially if it's an offer that they want. But they'll actually read your story because it's interesting and it's engaging, and then they might share it or tag their friends and especially like it. And that's really the metrics that you want to have a look at. Point number 6 for a winning Facebook ad is to test long versus short copy. And by long copy, I mean lots of words in your ad, and sometimes even 500 words we've used. When I started testing this, I thought to myself, well, the short copy is going to win every time, because people's attention span these days are not what they used to be, and no one's going to bother to read a long copy ad. And I always say to students and clients, I'm constantly humbled online. I'm constantly humbled by what people do, because it's sometimes the opposite of what I think they will do. And this is an instance where it's the opposite, because long copy, 9 times out of 10, I find will outperform and outconvert the short copy. And that's because this is obviously long copy when it's written well and it's using a story and it's engaging, because it becomes almost like a mini landing page. And then the people who do actually bother to read all that copy are more likely to convert if they click on it, because you've qualified them through that copy. So try it in your business. Try and test short copy versus long copy, and you too might be surprised at what you will find by doing that test. The next point is to try and use some emojis. I know this is a mixed response with people. Some people really don't like emojis, but test it in your business, because the results that we see when we use emojis in our ads are really good. And that's sort of continuing on with the social aspect of Facebook. It lets people's guard down. The ad doesn't feel like an ad because it's not so clinical, and it's a lot more conversational and relatable. So try and inject some emojis in your ads. You can just search online for some free emojis and you just copy and paste them into your ads. They're really simple to use, and you'll find you can really inject a bit of your own personality through the use of emojis in your ads. The next point is to try and use a question. Try and lead your ad with a question, and ideally a question that they say yes to. The questions I've used in one of my ads is, are you spending a fortune on AdWords and just not getting results? Most people would say yes, because they really struggle with AdWords, and therefore I've pre-qualified the people. So maybe if the people say no, they're really happy with AdWords, then they're probably not interested in my offer of my free guide. So it's a way of me pre-qualifying the people who would be most interested in our offer. So try and use it in your business. Lead with a question, but a question that is framed in such a way that you want the people who've said yes to. And that also, like, people are compelled to answer questions in their head when they read something. And I guess it's a classic copywriting technique. Point number 9 of what makes up a winning Facebook ad is to try and incorporate some social proof in your ad. We all know that social proof adds a huge element of trust to you and your business and your ad. So any kind of social proof that you can incorporate in it will be the ultimate kind of endorsement for your ad. And you can do this in 2 ways. The first way is to incorporate some kind of testimonial into your ad copy itself. And obviously you would use quotation marks and really identifying the fact that it is a testimonial. And that's a great way to really advertise the fact that you've got some great testimonials by using it in your ad copy. So that's the first way you can do that. And the second way is to try and get some social proof in the form of comments on your ad itself. You can imagine when you're looking at an ad and you see all these great comments below it of people saying, I bought this product and it was fantastic, or I downloaded this AdWords guide and I improved my conversion rate from 0.8% to 8%. The transformation of that ad is quite remarkable because that is the ultimate endorsement. So you might be wondering, how do you generate these comments on your ads? What's the best way? Well, there's lots of tactics actually that we use, which we do cover in our PPC Academy, but there are lots of ways that you can do it, which definitely worth doing, because once you get those comments on your ad, well, we use that ad continuously when we start really building and scaling our campaigns. And the difference in an ad with good social proof versus an ad with no comments, you actually can't even compare the results. And the last element that makes up a good Facebook ad is kind of a continuation on the one before, but is to please moderate comments. I see so many Facebook ads that have some pretty awful comments on there, and the advertiser hasn't moderated the comments at all. So yes, of course, haters will always be haters and you will get some negative comments on your ads. But I actually think it's a good opportunity to address whatever other objections or concerns that people have, and it's a good opportunity to say, not hide them and address them, but don't leave them unaddressed. If you're not going to address it, or if you think there's no nice way of responding to people that will turn it around and improve your ad, then either remove or hide the comments and block that person from making further comments on your ad. Because when you've got unmoderated comments on there that are quite scathing and rude and negative, and it just looks really bad. So either respond or remove. So there you have our top 10 elements that make up a winning Facebook ad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a summary of today's episode with these 10 points on a one-page document, so you can download that and have it next to you when you are creating your next Facebook ad. So we'll make that PDF available for you to download. All you got to do is go to talkingwebmarketing.com. That actually redirects to the podcast section on our website called Green Arrow Digital. But if you go to talkingwebmarketing.com, it will take you there, and then you can download that PDF. And I would love to hear, when you follow these 10 elements, the difference in performance that you have with your ad. So head on over and download that resource. If you are enjoying our show and this episode, I would love to hear about it, and you can let me know by leaving an iTunes review and telling us what you think about today's show or our show in general. So head on over to iTunes and leave a review. I would be eternally grateful. And thank you for listening, and stay tuned for further episodes.